Let me tell you something people rarely say out loud. Nobody is truly your friend. Sounds harsh, doesn't it? But it's real, especially when you're trying to create something, when you're grinding, when you're climbing up from nothing. At first, everyone will smile, cheer you on, say they believe in your vision. But the moment you start improving, doing better than them, everything shifts. Suddenly, there's silence. Jealousy creeps in. Doubt replaces support. Distance grows. I remember when I first began, I believed my friends would stand by me. I thought they'd lift me up. Some did, for a little while. But when things got tough, when sacrifices were needed, when serious choices had to be made, most of them faded away. Why? Because they weren't really in it for me. They were there for what they could benefit from. Let's face it, friendships fade quickly when personal interests don't align. It's easy to be friends when nothing's on the line. But when your progress begins to make others feel uncomfortable, you start to see who's really there, and usually it's no one. So what do? You stop waiting for approval. You stop relying on applause. You stop expecting someone else to believe in your journey more than you do. You trust yourself. You build connections, partnerships, but you keep your eyes wide open. Real loyalty shows when you're struggling, but even more when you're succeeding. You think people support your dream because they love you. No, they support success. If what you're building brings in results, they'll show up. If it fails, they vanish. That's not being cynical. That's understanding how the world works. And here's the hidden blessing in all this. It gives you freedom. When you truly accept that nobody is your safety net, you stop needing applause. You start working silently. You begin making sharper choices. You become unstoppable, not because you're heartless, but because now you see things clearly. So the next time you feel alone on your path, remember, no one is your friend. But that's exactly how champions are built. When it comes to business, one tough truth is this: emotions can ruin everything logic tries to build. If you keep making decisions based on feelings rather than what's smart, you're heading for disaster. It doesn't matter how passionate you are, how long someone's been with you, or how strong your bond used to be. If you let emotions take control, you will crash. Business isn't personal. It's about results, performance, timing, and strategic thinking. The moment you let emotions interfere with execution, you're giving your power away to things that don't belong in strategy. You'll end up hiring someone just because they're a friend. You'll hold onto an employee who isn't performing because of past loyalty. You won't let go of someone simply because they're trying hard, but trying hard doesn't pay salaries. Trying hard doesn't grow a company. It's not about effort, it's about outcome. You might say, but I care about my team, and that's great. But business doesn't care about your feelings. The market doesn't slow down because you're kind. Your competition won't back off just because you're being fair. The moment you start losing your edge, someone else will take your spot. Many people don't understand the price of emotional decision making in business until it's already too late. They let guilt stop them from cutting unnecessary costs. They let pride stop them from changing direction. They stay in toxic partnerships out of emotional attachment. These choices don't look like mistakes at first. They look like loyalty, compassion, being a good person. But months down the road, when the money dries up or the opportunity disappears, they become regrets. Having emotions doesn't make you weak, but allowing emotions to run your business decisions makes you exposed. Emotions make you react instead of think. They make you hold on when you should release. They make you trust blindly when you should verify. They make you hope when you should act. A founder once said, "I didn't fire my co-founder, even though he was hurting the company, because we were best friends." By the time he made the hard call, the damage was already done. Investors pulled out. Products were delayed. The company almost collapsed. Why? Because he confused friendship with responsibility. The market didn't care that they had history. Customers didn't care that it was an emotional decision. All that mattered was delivery, and they didn't deliver. This happens every single day. People mistake being loyal for being competent. They think someone who wants success is the same as someone who can achieve it. They choose comfort instead of facing the truth. They avoid hard conversations, calling it kindness, but really, they're just delaying the inevitable. Emotional leaders make poor choices, not because they're bad people, but because they haven't learned how to separate feelings from the outcome. In negotiations, if you get angry, you lose control. If you get too excited, you show your desperation. If you let your emotions guide your pricing, timelines, or deals, you'll get taken advantage of. Business is a game of strategy and leverage, and emotions strip away your leverage quicker than anything else. Ask yourself, do you want to be liked, or do you want to succeed? Because often you can't have both. Earning respect in business usually means making tough decisions, letting go of good people who aren't the right fit, turning down exciting but dangerous opportunities, cutting ties with people you once called family. These decisions hurt in the short term, but they protect the long term. That doesn't mean you should be cold or robotic. It means you must master emotional discipline, know when to feel and when to act. Business rewards clarity, not confusion. The clearer your mind is, the better your decisions become. Emotion clouds judgment. It hides risk. It blinds you from red flags. It makes you chase things you should walk away from and delay decisions you need to make now. Most of us grow up believing friendships are forever. That's what we're taught: loyalty, trust, standing by each other. It sounds nice, but step into the real world, into business, and you'll see how quickly that belief is tested. The moment money, control, attention, or survival comes into play, friendships get shaky, not because people are bad, but because their needs change, and when needs change, so do people. You might grow up with someone, go through struggles together, build dreams from scratch. But the second your goals no longer match theirs, tension will rise. It's not personal, it's structural. Business isn't about how you feel, it's about results, alignment, and control. Most people don't realize that alignment is everything. You can be friends for a decade, but if one wants to scale fast while the other wants to play it safe, it won't last. If one wants to reinvest earnings and the other wants to take profits out, it won't last. What starts as small disagreements grows into resentment, miscommunication, and eventually betrayal. One person begins making decisions without talking to the other. One asks for more credit, more say, more pay. Meetings feel colder, calls get shorter, you're no longer working together, you're working apart. In the beginning, you try to fix it. You remind yourself of all the good times, you say, we'll figure it out. But business doesn't care how long you've known someone. It rewards alignment and performance. If your visions don't match, the business will suffer. And if you force the friendship to survive inside a broken structure, you lose both, the business and the friendship. Here's the truth most won't tell you. When interests no longer match, people will justify anything. That same friend who stood with you will now say, I deserve more, or you changed, or I've always been doing the heavy lifting. And maybe that's true. Maybe you changed, maybe they did. But once your goals don't align, even the best memories can't hold things together. You see this all the time, founders who stop speaking, longtime partners who turn into rivals, friends who end up in court over deals gone bad. These aren't rare cases, they are repeated patterns. The reason: interests shifted and no one spoke up. Instead of being honest and adjusting expectations, they ignored the signs, and when everything blew up, the friendship couldn't survive the explosion. This isn't about bitterness, it's about understanding the rules of the game, and the game doesn't care how close you once were. When things fall apart, and they will, you'll want someone to step in and help. You'll call friends, blame the market, hope for advice, a loan, anything, but the reality is, no one is responsible for fixing your life. Nobody is losing sleep over how to rescue you. That's on you. That's always been on you. The faster you accept that truth, the faster you get strong. This isn't negativity, it's power. It's how you become unbreakable. You stop hoping someone saves you. You start saving yourself. Your success, your comeback, your survival. It's all your job, not your parents, not your mentors, not your friends, yours. People say, I've got your back. Sometimes they mean it. But when things get real, when things fall apart, when they have to choose between helping you or protecting themselves, they choose themselves every time. That's not betrayal, that's just reality. So stop building your support system around others. Stop expecting someone else to show up when it gets hard. Start building real skills. Start developing emotional strength. Start creating the kind of discipline that can carry you through failure. If your business falls, learn to build another one. If a partnership crumbles, create a new path. If someone betrays your trust, move forward anyway. Most people say they have a backup plan, but really, their backup plan is hoping someone else steps in. That's not a plan, That's a fantasy. You are your backup plan, and that's the best news, because it means you have control now. So when you finally understand that you are the one responsible for everything, your rise, your fall, your healing, your rebuilding, you stop waiting. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission. You stop waiting for someone to believe in your vision. You stop waiting for a handout, a favor, a miracle from someone else. You become the miracle. You become the permission. You realize you are the answer you've been searching for. And once you tap into that mindset, something shifts inside you. You become less emotional about setbacks. You stop taking things personally. Someone doesn't believe in you, that's fine. You believe in you. Someone walks away, let them go. You'll keep walking anyway. You stop begging for loyalty. You stop trying to prove your worth to people who only see you as useful when they need something. You stop trying to explain your dream to people who are blind to it. You realize something most people never learn. Loneliness is part of the price of greatness. There will be nights when you're building alone. Mornings when you're questioning everything. Days when your own voice is the only encouragement you hear. But that's not a sign to quit. It's a sign that you're on the right path. Because the deeper the purpose, the fewer the companions. The stronger your mission, the quieter your circle becomes, and that's okay, because clarity needs quiet, purpose needs solitude, focus needs space. You'll find that when you stop chasing validation, you start attracting results. When you stop chasing company, you start attracting peace. When you stop begging others to stay, the right people naturally align with you, and the wrong ones reveal themselves quickly. This journey isn't for the weak-hearted. It's not for the ones who need constant applause. It's for the ones who can clap for themselves in silence, for the ones who can keep showing up even when no one notices, for the ones who understand that being misunderstood is just a sign that you're walking a different path. A path meant for those who build, not those who wait. You'll start to see things differently. Every betrayal becomes a lesson. Every delay becomes protection. Every loss becomes space for something better. You no longer panic when people leave. You're too focused on what you're building. You no longer fall apart when plans change. You adapt and move forward. You no longer doubt yourself just because someone else does. You've seen yourself survive enough storms to know what you're made of. That's when your energy changes. You become unshakable. People can't manipulate you with fear anymore. They can't confuse you with drama. They can't control you with guilt because you've seen the truth. And the truth is, you are not here to be liked. You are here to lead. You are not here to be comfortable. You are here to grow. You are not here to stay the same. You are here to rise, and rising means breaking. Rising means burning bridges that lead nowhere. Rising means leaving behind people who only knew the old version of you. People who loved your weakness because it made them feel strong. People who called you friend until your light made their shadows uncomfortable. Let them go. Let the weight drop. You don't need to carry their doubts anymore. You don't need to slow down so they can keep up. You don't need to shrink so they feel tall. You are not selfish for choosing peace. You are not arrogant for choosing growth. You are not cold for refusing to pour from an empty cup anymore. What you are is finally awake. You see clearly now. You see that not everyone clapping is cheering for you. Some are just watching, waiting to see if you fall. Not everyone who calls you brother or sister is loyal. Some just want to stay close to your shine, hoping to benefit without ever building their own. But that doesn't shake you anymore because you didn't come this far for attention. You didn't endure all that pain just for applause. You came for something deeper, something real. You came to become. To become someone unbreakable, someone who can build even from ashes, someone who can lead even when it hurts, someone who understands that storms don't destroy strong foundations. They reveal them, and now you're that foundation. Solid, clear, built by experience, powered by purpose. So don't fear being alone, it's where your power grows. Don't fear being doubted, it's where your faith sharpens. Don't fear being misunderstood. It means you've stopped explaining yourself to people who were never supposed to understand your mission. Your job isn't to be liked, it's to be true. Your role isn't to keep everyone happy. It's to keep building. Your purpose isn't to carry everyone. It's to walk forward with vision even if the path is empty behind you. And when you finally accept that, everything changes. You begin to lead not from ego, but from clarity. Not from fear, but from faith. Not from emotion, but from wisdom. That's when you become unstoppable, because now you're not just working, you're walking in alignment. You're not just hustling, you're moving with intention. You're not just surviving, you're transforming. Let others talk, let them question, let them leave, let them sleep on your potential. While they doubt, you build. While they gossip, you grow. While they disappear, you endure. Because in the end, they'll realize what they walked away from was the storm that turned into the sun, and by then, you won't even need to explain. Because your success will speak so loudly, your silence will echo. You'll no longer need to convince anyone of your value. You'll simply embody it. Keep going, keep building, keep rising. You're not alone. You've got you, and that's more than enough. Plan B should never be just wishful thinking. Your real backup plan has to be you. Your resourcefulness, your creativity, your ability to adjust when everything goes wrong. There will be days when you feel completely alone, when your calls go unanswered, when investors back out, when friends become unavailable. In those moments, all you'll have is what's in your mind and your heart. Your knowledge, your strength, your calm thinking when life is chaotic. That's why you can't afford to break down easily. You must be your own foundation before expecting anyone else to support you. And even if people do show up to help, to guide, to cheer you on, be thankful, but don't become dependent, because help doesn't last forever. Encouragement fades. What really drives your progress, your healing, your rise, is what's inside you. When everything clears, the only person guaranteed to be by your side is you. People often talk about teams, partners, and mentors. Sure, they matter, but only after you've built yourself first, only when you're solid on your own. A team becomes strong when each person can stand without leaning. A partner becomes valuable when they aren't carrying all the weight. A mentor helps best when you're already taking steps, not waiting to be told what to do. The world doesn't owe you help. It gives rewards to those who help themselves first. You must be your own source of energy when no one believes in you, your own planner when things fall apart, your own loudest voice when the silence is heavy. Nobody can do the inner work for you. No one else can train your thoughts. No one else can help you bounce back faster than you. Many people waste years waiting for help that never comes. They wait for perfect timing, the right person, the ideal opportunity. But time won't stop just because you're waiting. It keeps going. Chances pass by. People move forward. And if you're not ready to keep moving on your own, you'll be left behind. One big mistake people make, especially in business, is thinking that trust is automatic. They think that just because someone smiles, nods, or shares similar goals, that person can be trusted. But trust isn't something you're given for free. It's not based on how long you've known someone, or what titles they have, or shared memories. Trust comes from action, from results, from staying strong under pressure. You don't trust someone just because they say the right words. You trust them because they do the right things, especially when no one's watching. In business, words are cheap. Promises are easy to make. Commitments mean nothing without action. Everyone sounds great when there's nothing at risk. Everyone seems honest during a first meeting. The real test happens when money's involved, when things get tough, when the situation changes. Many people get hurt because they trust others too quickly. A co-founder makes big promises but disappears when work starts. A new hire looks impressive in interviews but later gives excuses. An investor says they're all in, then disappears when profits fall. Every time, people say, "But I trusted them." That's the issue. You trusted too fast. Trust isn't a gift you hand out just because you like someone. It's not a kind gesture. It's a form of value. You don't give it out easily and hope for the best. You observe, you learn how people behave, you notice their patterns, you watch how they deal with stress. You give them small chances and see how they handle them. Then, over time, you decide if they've earned more responsibility. Even in long friendships or long-term business partnerships, trust must be kept alive. Just because someone was loyal before doesn't mean they're loyal now. Just because they did the right thing once doesn't mean they will again. People change, their reasons shift. Pressure reveals the truth. That's why wise leaders are always watching, always judging. Not out of fear, but from experience. Blind trust is not bravery, it's a weakness. It leads to being used, misled, and losing control. It's how people lose their companies, miss out on key opportunities, or fall behind. They trusted someone based on a feeling, not proof. You don't need to become cold or suspicious. You just need to be honest with yourself. Understand that trust isn't free, it must be earned, and the same rule applies to you. If you want others to trust you, don't just say you're reliable, prove it. Show up early, keep your word, handle issues with maturity, take responsibility for mistakes. That's how real trust is created on both sides. Think of trust like a credit score. You can't get a loan without proof of history. In work and life, your trust score matters. It's not about your words, it's about your track record. Can you be dependable under stress? Do you follow through when things get tough? Can people trust your silence as much as your promises? These are the signs people look for. Too many assume that if someone is trusted by a friend, they must be trustworthy too. That's a dangerous shortcut. Just because someone comes recommended doesn't mean they've earned your faith. You still have to test them. You still need to check them against your own standards. Otherwise, you're not making smart choices. You're just gambling. Even in close, knit groups and teams, trust isn't automatic. The moment you stop watching, people cut corners. The moment you stop checking, quality drops. The best environments are built on responsibility, not guesswork. People perform better when they know their actions are being seen, when their results are expected to meet a clear standard. When trust is built correctly, it becomes powerful. It speeds things up, it removes doubts, it builds lasting loyalty. But if you skip the steps and assume trust from the start, you're not building a real team. You're setting a trap that will explode later. As you aim for something bigger than comfort, as you grow, lead, build something bold, you'll learn a truth few mention. It gets lonely, not because people dislike you, not because you choose to be alone, but because the higher you go, the fewer people can relate to what you're carrying. Everyone wants success, but few speak about the silence that comes with it, the late nights when you're still working alone, the hard calls you make without advice, the thoughts you can't share because others don't understand the urgency you feel, the hunger you have, the vision you hold. At the beginning, everyone's around, friends cheer you on, family shows support, you have people to talk to, but as your speed increases, people slowly fall away. You work while they relax, you invest while they waste. You grow while they stay in place. Over time, your world pulls apart from theirs, not out of pride, but from necessity. Your path doesn't have room for everyone. People rarely talk about the emotional cost of leveling up, the events you miss, the weekends you sacrifice, the friendships that fade because you've outgrown small talk. You start to feel out of place, not because you think you're better, but because you now see things differently. You avoid what they chase, you no longer want what they crave, and so the distance grows. It becomes lonely when you can't speak freely about your stress without being told to relax. It becomes lonely when you can't share your success without being called lucky. It becomes lonely when you've outgrown your group but haven't found your next one. This is where most give up, not because it's too hard, but because it's too isolating. They miss being understood. They miss the easy comfort of people agreeing with them. They miss the closeness. So they slow down, they shrink their dreams to match their surroundings, they settle just to feel connected, and they call it balance or peace, but inside they know, they gave up the climb. As you rise, you will lose people. Some will walk away, others you'll need to release. Some will just disappear, and yes, it will hurt, but each level of growth needs a new version of you, and not everyone will meet that version. Growth asks for space, it asks for quiet. It demands you meet parts of yourself you never faced while surrounded. No one warns you how heavy it is to be the visionary, the one who takes the risks, makes the sacrifices, and carries the load while others watch from safety. Some days you'll doubt everything. Some days quitting will seem easier, but that's the reality of the journey. The higher you climb, the thinner the air, the quieter the noise, and the smaller the path. In the end, the path to the top is yours to walk alone. People will walk beside you when it suits them, but the moment your path challenges their comfort, they'll choose themselves. That doesn't make them bad. It just makes them human. In life, in business, anywhere the stakes are real. Friendships become fragile, emotions, loyalty, trust. These are strong forces, but they aren't forever. When goals clash, when money's involved, when plans fail, you'll quickly learn. Most people are only loyal when it benefits them too. So build smart, work with eyes open and hopes grounded, respect others. Work together, lead with honesty, but never expect anyone to owe you loyalty. Trust must be earned every day. Interests must stay aligned, and if they don't, be ready to keep going alone. Be ready emotionally, mentally, and financially. Your true teammate is your resilience. Your true support is your discipline. Your real guide is your clarity. Everything else can shift. But when things break apart, it won't be your network or old friends that save you. It'll be the version of you who trained for the moment when no one else shows up. It's the version of you that kept showing up when there was no applause. The version of you that stayed focused even when no one else saw the vision. The version of you that learned how to stand in silence, that didn't beg for understanding, that didn't shrink to be accepted. That version, strong, prepared, calm under pressure, is the one who carries you through the storms. The world may not always reward your quiet effort right away. People might not notice your long nights, your sacrifices, or the risks you took alone. But those moments are building something unshakable inside you. Every test, every setback, every time someone left, every time a plan failed, it was shaping you. You were becoming solid, sharp, steady. You were learning not to rely on others for direction or worth. You were learning to trust yourself. That self-trust becomes your anchor when the world shifts. That self-trust becomes your guide when paths get dark. And that's something no one can take from you. Not rejection, not betrayal, not failure. Because the strength you built didn't come from comfort. It came from choosing to keep going when everything said stop. And that's what makes you dangerous. In the best way, you're not driven by applause. You're not fueled by likes or approval. You've been through the silence. You felt the weight of disappointment, and still you move. That makes you unstoppable, because if no one shows up, you'll still show up. If no one claps, you'll still perform. If no one believes, you'll still build. That kind of power is rare. That kind of power can't be borrowed. It has to be earned through lonely days, quiet nights, and the kind of consistency most people give up on. And along the way, you will meet others like you, not many, but a few. People who have walked through fire and didn't brag about their scars. People who know what it means to carry something heavy and still smile. People who understand silence not as emptiness, but as preparation. Those people will recognize your strength. They won't try to slow you down. They won't ask you to dim your light. They'll add fuel to your fire, not fear. But those people only show up when you've proven that you don't need them to survive. They're not saviors, they're allies. And together you build not out of need, but out of mutual respect. Until then, keep walking, keep building, keep showing up. You may feel invisible at times, you may feel misunderstood, but don't let that trick you into shrinking. Don't let the silence confuse you. It's not a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that you're on a rare path, a narrow road that most aren't brave enough to follow. The quiet doesn't mean failure. It means you're ahead of the noise. Every person who ever did something meaningful went through this phase, the phase of being alone, the phase of doubt, the phase of being ignored, but they didn't stop there. They used the silence, they used the setbacks, they used the distance, not to become bitter, but to become better. And that's your invitation now, to rise not just with skill, but with depth, to lead not just with vision, but with integrity, to succeed not just for applause, but for purpose. Let the silence grow you, let the loneliness refine you, let the hard days teach you what comfort never could. You are not behind, you are not failing, you are becoming, and that becoming is sacred. Don't rush it. Don't compare it, don't doubt it just because it feels unfamiliar. You're building a life few will understand until they see the results, but don't build for them. Build because the vision matters, build because you know you are called for more. And when it gets hard again, and it will remind yourself who you are, not who people said you were, not who the world tried to mold you into, but who you chose to become, the one who kept going, the one who didn't quit, the one who walked alone so they could one day lead others with strength. That's who you are, and that's who you're still becoming. Keep climbing, even if no one's watching, even if the results are slow. Even if your voice shakes, keep showing up for your life, keep showing up for your vision, because the reward isn't just in the outcome, it's in who you become by refusing to stop. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are not broken for feeling alone. You are just in the process. The fire is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to burn away what can't come with you to the next level. So stay with it. Stay present. Stay grounded. Let the journey teach you. Let the struggle shape you. Let the climb make you unshakable. You were not made to blend in. You were not made to stay small. You were not made to be liked by everyone. You were made to lead, you were made to build, you were made to rise, even when the room goes quiet. You don't need a crowd to move forward, you don't need a fan club to stay focused. You just need to remember why you started, and you need to keep going, and one day, not by luck, but by persistence, you'll look around and realize you built something real, something lasting, not because it was easy, but because you didn't quit. Not because everyone believed, but because you believed enough to take the next step anyway. That's the kind of legacy that doesn't fade. That's the kind of life that changes everything, and you're on your way there. Step by step, breath by breath, choice by choice, keep moving forward, keep becoming, you've got this. And even on the hardest days, never forget. The climb is hard, but so are you.